Been a tough week, Brad. How are the boys and yourself holding up?
Yeah, we're fine. We had a really good session during the week, and it's our first 7-day break in a while, so we got an opportunity to put some quality work into the players, given that physically they're in a better condition, and mentally, it's been a challenge. Clearly at 1 and 4, the challenge is to focus on what's important and not get distracted by the frustrations that we're experiencing.
What have the focuses been on the track?
Oh, well, I mean, the main one, to be honest, has been how we address conceding 130 points from centre bounces. I mean, there's been changes to the centre bounce system, and we talked about that we're a little bit limited in terms of how we can defend them. But the reality is, the second worst team at defending centre bounces is conceding less than half the amount of scores we are. I mean, we've conceded 130 points. The next worst has conceded 62. So, in a season where we've been in games and lost some games that we felt we were right in, that's just making an incredible difference to the way that we're playing. So, and that's not just centre bounce stoppage wins, it's the ability to defend them, and we're just not defending them well enough.
How do you feel when Wayne Carey says this club's becoming irrelevant?
Yeah, well, everyone's entitled to their opinion. When you're 1 and 4, you're gonna have lots of accusations directed your way, and that's just the nature of the industry that we're in. Again, we just can't get distracted by what's right in front of us, and what's right in front of us now is a really important game against Port Adelaide and Adelaide this week.
When you talk about the centre bounce scores conceded, are there any theories? I mean, have you made some inroads there, do you think?
Well, we hope so. I mean, we're making some changes because we have to, and look, trust me when I say I've been through every single one of them, and analysed every other team in the competition in terms of why we're defending them poorly in comparison to the rest of the competition. And part of it's been credit to the opposition. They've moved the ball well against us, but we haven't defended it anywhere near well enough. So we'll look different this week in the way that we go about it, and we just have to keep chipping away at it. And I've got no doubt that it will smooth out as the season goes on, but right at the moment there are a lot of factors that we're not doing anywhere near well enough, but that's the one that's costing us the most.
That's structure and personnel, or yeah?
Yeah, well, the structure, we're not dissimilar to just about any other team in the competition with structure, because 6-6-6, there's not a lot of variation in the way that we go about it. But to put it in context, where structure does count around the ground, outside of centre bounce stoppages, we're as good as anyone at defending scores from stoppages. So it's clearly a centre bounce issue for us at the moment.
So should we expect to see some new faces going through the middle of the ground tomorrow night?
Yeah, I suspect so. And one thing, we've had the options to put guys through there. Our captain spent a bit of time, contrary to popular opinion apparently, he spent a bit of time in there on the weekend. So, but we'll make some changes to our forward half as well, which will then flow onto our midfield.
Where do we expect Jack to play tomorrow night?
Combination of midfield and forward.
The shinbone spirit's been long associated with this club, and David King questioned in an article this morning whether it still remained. How do you react to that?
Yeah, look, it certainly stings when it's one of your own saying that. But look, we've been in some really challenging situations over a long period of time, both in my tenure here, but for the club's history. That's largely what this club is built on. It's been built through adversity, and so when we are doing it tough, there's only one way that this club responds, and that is to double down our effort, double down on our work ethic, and focus on what's right in front of us and fight our way through. And bit by bit, we'll get back to where we want to be, because we're not displaying what we want to show our fans at the moment. But rest assured, we're doing everything we can to turn it around.
Will Luke McDonald and Taryn Thomas come back in tomorrow night?
Yeah, they'll come back in.
Port Adelaide were pretty impressive over the weekend. What did you take out of their performance?
Oh, they were fantastic in both conditions, when it was sort of dry early in the game, but when the weather set in, they even went to another level. So, yeah, I mean, they've been playing some really good footy, but this year's thrown up some contrasting results. When the teams appear to be going really, really well, potentially there's, and it's been evidence this year that results haven't gone as expected the following week. So No, they're a very good team. They've got a lot of quality players. They're playing on their home ground, so it's going to be a huge challenge for us. There's no doubt about that. But we've clearly planned for Port Adelaide and what they do well, but our major focus will be on the way that we want to play.
Spoken to Jared Pollock about going back to Adelaide Oval and playing his old side for the first time.
Well, we played a JLT game over in at their real home ground, which is Adelaide Oval, in the pre-season. So he got a nice warm welcome, and so did Jasper Pittard over there in Port Adelaide. But the Adelaide Oval is a fantastic place to play footy. The Adelaide crowd is a very knowledgeable football crowd. We always enjoyed playing there, but it's going to be a huge challenge. And while Patrick Dangerfield is a rare player, he appears to thrive when he goes and plays back in Adelaide when he plays with Geelong. So we'll just be getting Jasper and Jared to make sure they're focused on what's important for us.
Just personally, how have you been holding up the last month or so under a pretty tough period of your coaching career, I guess? Have you been getting much sleep?
Oh yeah, my 2 kids kept me awake more than anything. But no, as I said, we doubled down our effort and we doubled down our work ethic. We doubled down on fixing the things that need to be fixed. So I've been too busy to be worried.
How much harder is it when the VFL team, got the hunting as well last week, so you don't have necessarily the options coming up?
Yeah, well, I think we've played as many players as anyone in the competition at the moment, so it's not through lack of making changes to try and get things to click at the moment. But really, I mean, we're not looking for panacea. We're not looking for a quick fix. We're looking to control the things that we know we can control, to get back to playing the style of footy that we displayed 2 weeks ago. It seems like an eternity ago, but it was only 2 weeks ago that the way that we wanted to play was very clear for all to see. So there are some things, as I've mentioned, that are making inordinate differences in the outcomes of our game. Centre bounces being a large one there, accuracy being another one, and they're things that we can improve.
Just on the VFL, Nathan Horovat had 28 touches again last weekend. Where's he at?
Yeah, coming into our squad, we've got to finalise our team, and every week you pick the team that you think can do the job against the opposition, but Nathan's definitely been holding up his end of the bargain.
Talk of board murmurings and upheaval, does that affect you personally? I mean, are you able to block that all out?
Oh, look, I think when you're 1 and 4, there are going to be all sorts of opinions, but I think the strength of this football club, certainly in my time here, has been the foundation that's been laid over a long period of time. So cast my mind back 10, 12 years ago and where this club is and where it is now. This is an incredibly stable, strong football club, and it's in a position it's never been in before. But that being said, in the really short term, we're 1 and 4. So that brings with it the requisite level of criticism.